Today I'm going to show you how to add and subtract integers. Integer is basically just a fancy word for whole numbers. So they could either be positive numbers or negative numbers. So first I'm going to show you how to add integers. So here are the rules. If the numbers have the same signs, you add them. So they could be both positive or both of them could be negative. So you add them. And then if they have different signs, like one number is positive and the other is negative, you subtract them. So at first we're just going to use pictures because to make it easier on ourselves. So I drew 3 negative chips and then 4 positive chips. So 1 negative chip plus 1 positive chip equals 0 because they balance each other out. So let's make our 0 pairs. So there's 1 0 pair, 2 0 pair, and 3 0 pairs. So you could just X them out and then you're left with 1 positive chip, and then that's your answer. So for this problem, there are 5 positive chips and 6 negative chips. So you make your 0 pairs. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you're left with 1 negative chip. So that your answer is -1. Pause the video and try number 3 on your own. So I've drawn all my chips, 3 negative chips and 7 positive chips. So I'm going to make my 0 pairs. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 positive chips, so my answer is 4. Hopefully you've got that answer. Let's try solving the problems without chips now. Thinking back to our rules, if the signs are different, we subtract, and if the signs are the same, we add. So for number 4, since our signs are different, we have to subtract. Let's ignore this negative sign for a minute and let's just think 10 minus 4. 10 minus 4 is 6. So since we have more negatives, the answer will be negative. So our answer is -6. Let's try number 5 now. Let's ignore the negative sign again, and let's just think 14 minus 5. 14 minus 5 is 9. Since there are more positive numbers, our answer will be +9. You don't have to put the plus sign because you already know it's positive. Let's try number 6. The things that's different about this problem is that both numbers are negative. So instead of subtracting the numbers, we just add them. So -20 plus -10 is just -30. 14 plus 40 is just 54. Pause the video and try solving these problems on your own. For number 8, since the signs are opposite, you subtract. So let's ignore the negative sign for a minute. So 10 minus 5 is 5, and since there are more negatives, your answer is negative. So your answer is -5. For number 9, since the signs are opposite, you subtract. So ignore the negative sign for a minute. 5 minus 2 is 3. Since there are more positives, your answer is positive 3. For number 10, since both the numbers are negative, you add them. So negative 40 plus negative 15 is negative 55. For 11, both of my numbers are positive, so you just add them. So 30 plus 20 is positive 50. Hopefully you've got them right. We're now going to learn how to subtract integers. To subtract integers, you have to change the problem from subtracting integers to adding integers. There are two ways you can do that. You can make the problem turn into a plus plus problem, or you could make it turn into a plus a negative problem. It will make more sense when we do examples. So for number 1, we have to change it to an adding integers problem. So to do that, we have to do plus a negative. So now you just solve it like an ordinary adding integers problem. So ignore the negative sign and just think 8 minus 5. So 8 minus 5 is 3, and since there are more negatives, the answer is negative 3. For number 2, it's a little bit different because there are two minus signs. So we have to change it to plus plus. So now it's just 7 plus 3. So 7 plus 3 is 10. Try solving number 3 on your own. Since it's 8 minus 9, we have to change the minus sign to a plus sign and the 9 to a negative. So ignore the negative sign for a minute. 9 minus 8 is 1. Since there are more negative numbers, your answer is negative 1. Try solving 4 and 5 on your own. So for number 4, you have to change it to plus plus. So 20 plus 20 is 40. For 5, you have to change it to plus a negative. So ignore the negative sign. 30 minus 10 is 20, and since there are more negatives, the answer is negative 20. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful.